NVIDIA is dead. The bubble has finally popped. AI was just a $1 trillion hallucination. If you have opened a news app, checked your brokerage account, or scrolled through social media in the last 48 hours, that is the only song people are singing. For the first time in a long time, we are seeing real, sustained red on the screen, and the "I told you so" crowd is having a field day. The panic is palpable. People are selling at the bottom because they're terrified that the party is over. But while everyone else is running for the exits, I am doing something that might seem absolutely reckless to the average observer. I am buying the dip. In fact, I'm buying it harder than I've bought any dip in the last 3 years. In this video, we aren't just going to look at a stock chart and draw some support lines. We are going to perform an autopsy on the fear itself. I'm going to show you why the AI bubble narrative is fundamentally flawed. We're going to talk about the Blackwell architecture rollout, the transition to the Vera Rubin platform, and why the copper wall of power consumption isn't the dead end the bears think it is. By the time we finish this deep dive, you'll understand why this isn't the beginning of the end. It is quite literally the greatest entry point we have seen since the pre-split days of 2023. Let's start with the why. Why is everyone panicking? To understand why I'm buying, you have to understand what everyone else is afraid of. The bears have 3 main arguments right now. First, they say the return on investment isn't there. They claim Microsoft, Meta, and Alphabet are spending billions on H100s and B200s but aren't seeing the revenue to justify it. Second, they point to the power wall, the idea that our electric grids literally cannot support more data centers. And third, they point to the valuation, saying NVIDIA is just too expensive compared to its historical averages. Let's dismantle the ROI argument first, because this is the one that gets the most headlines. Critics love to say that AI is a money pit. But they are looking at the wrong part of the balance sheet. When Meta spends billions on NVIDIA chips, they aren't just doing it for fun. They are doing it because their recommendation algorithms, the things that keep you scrolling on Reels and Instagram, are now powered by massive GPU clusters. That isn't speculative AI, that is integrated AI that drives ad revenue today. When you hear a CEO say they are over-provisioning, they aren't wasting money. In the world of AI, being late is a death sentence. If Google or Amazon stops buying chips today, and OpenAI or a dark horse competitor achieves a breakthrough in reasoning or agentic AI tomorrow, the laggards lose their entire market cap overnight. The cost of underinvesting is infinitely higher than the cost of overinvesting. Now, let's talk about the Blackwell transition. We've heard the rumors about overheating and design flaws. Every time NVIDIA launches a new architecture, the bears find a manufacturing hiccup and claim it's the end of the line. We saw it with Hopper, we saw it with Ampere, and we're seeing it now. But here's what the market is missing. Jensen Huang has moved NVIDIA from a chip company to a data center company. They aren't just selling you a piece of silicon, they are selling you the rack, the cooling, the software stack, and the networking. The networking side, Spectrum X and InfiniBand, is the secret sauce that no one talks about. Even if AMD or Intel could match NVIDIA on raw compute power, which, let's be honest, they haven't yet, they cannot match the networking. AI isn't about one chip, it's about 10,000 chips talking to each other as if they were one giant brain. NVIDIA owns the synapses of that brain. When you buy the dip now, you aren't betting on a graphics card company. You are betting on the only company that has successfully built a proprietary, full-stack ecosystem for the industrial revolution of intelligence. Let's get into the Vera Rubin era. This is the next generation beyond Blackwell. While the world is crying about Blackwell shipping delays, NVIDIA is already locking in the supply chain for the Rubin chips. These are going to be the first chips to truly leverage high-bandwidth memory for. This is a leap in performance that will make the H100 look like a calculator. The demand for this isn't coming from just tech companies anymore. We are seeing sovereign AI emerge. Nations like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and various European states are building their own domestic AI clouds. They don't want to rely on US-based big tech, they want their own data, in their own borders, on their own silicon. This opens up a multi-billion-dollar market that didn't even exist 2 years ago. So, when the stock drops 10% or 15% because of a macro headline or a cooling off in the Nasdaq, you have to ask yourself, has the demand for intelligence decreased? Has the world decided it wants less automation? Has the race for AGI stopped? The answer is a resounding no. Now, I want to talk to those of you who are feeling the gut punch of seeing your portfolio in the red. It's easy to have diamond hands when the stock is up 200%. It's much harder when you're down and the news is telling you that you're a fool. But wealth is not made in the green, it is made in the red. You have to be willing to be wrong for a period of time to be right for a decade. NVIDIA's price-to-earnings ratio, when adjusted for its growth rate, the PEG ratio, is actually lower than many slow-growing consumer staples. You're getting world-class growth at a fear-induced discount. Think about the software layer. We are currently in the build-out phase. This is like 1996 for the internet. People were laying fiber optic cables everywhere. The bubble burst because the infrastructure was built, but the applications weren't there yet. However, the companies that owned the infrastructure survived and thrived. NVIDIA is the fiber optic cable, the router, and the server of the AI era all rolled into one. And unlike the 90s, the software is already here. We have LLMs writing code, discovering new proteins for drugs, and optimizing logistics in real time. If you are looking at the 1-hour chart, you are going to be stressed. If you are looking at the 1-year chart, you are going to be confused. But if you look at the 5-year horizon, the current dip looks like a tiny blip on a massive upward trajectory. The moat around this company is not a ditch, it is an ocean. They have the developers, they have the CUDA software platform that everyone is trained on, and they have a CEO who is arguably the best operational leader of our generation. So, here is my plan. I am not all in on one day. I am scaling in. I am using this volatility to my advantage. Every time the RSI hits an oversold level, I am adding. Every time a concerned analyst downgrades the stock because of a short-term supply chain glitch, I am adding. Because I know that 3 years from now, we will be looking back at these prices and wishing we could go back in time. The volatility is the price you pay for the performance. You cannot have 500% gains without 30% drawdowns. That is the contract you sign with the market. Most people want the gains without the pain, so they sell when it hurts. I choose to embrace the pain because I know what's on the other side. We are moving toward a world where every single pixel, every lines of code, and every physical robot will be processed through an NVIDIA GPU. We are talking about the tokenization of the entire world. And right now, the market is giving you a discount on the toll booth that sits at the center of that world. Don't let the noise distract you. Don't let the panic of the crowd override your logic. Look at the data. Look at the capital expenditures of the biggest companies on Earth. They aren't slowing down, they are accelerating. And if they aren't slowing down, why should you? This dip is a gift. It is a stress test for your conviction. If you believed in the AI revolution at the all-time high, you should love it 20% cheaper. Nothing has changed fundamentally except the price. And in the world of investing, when the story is the same but the price is lower, that is what we call a buy signal. Hold your ground. Stay focused on the long-term vision. The age of AI hasn't even hit its stride yet, and NVIDIA is the engine driving the entire machine. I'm buying the dip. I'll see you at the top.